So it's the 24th day of the rough draft / write 50,000 words in a month challenge. However, we're starting off today in my studio. So I also, because I have no chill, have decided to not only try to write 50,000 words this month, but also have a collection launch by the end of the month. So I stayed up way too late last night glazing. Alright, so I know it's kind of loud. I'll try to talk over it, but I have the vent on and the kiln's going. So the piece is dried enough with me doing the candling. So again, that's where I put them at 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll put what it is in Celsius as well on the screen. But basically it kind of dries them out, but it's below boiling point. So I won't have any of that water trying to escape and like cause explosions in the kiln. And so we just kind of do that, let them dry enough that I could actually bisque them without having to worry too much about explosions. So that's what we're doing today. We just got the kiln going and it's gonna be running a bisque fire today. It'll probably take the whole day, and then it'll take another whole day for it to cool down, and then we will probably be glazing on Monday. Hi everybody, so I'm here, and I know I don't normally record on Saturdays. It's the 22nd day of, you know, doing the rough draft challenge, nano, writing 50,000 words in a day is kind of the goal. But the whole family's out of the house, and so I got the kiln going, which is good. So it's bisque firing. I ended up having, you know, I told you, the whole spiel. But anyways, so we've got the bisque fire going. I had to fix my car. For whatever reason, my car doesn't like to hold air in the tires. I'm sure it's a thing that could be fixed. But yeah, anyways, I was out there for a good 45 minutes getting my car tires to be filled again. But we got that done. So right now I am going to try to get as much writing done as I can before, you know, everyone comes back. Before I have another thing, I'm actually going to be hanging out with my mom today, which I always really look forward to. About every 3 weeks we kind of, you know, just hang out and have fun and catch up and stuff. So I do have that later today. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to get as many words in as I can. I am feeling better today. I know that last week was a lot of me not feeling like writing, partially because of stress and the things in my personal life, partially because I just was kind of struggling with the story. But I have decided I'm not going to rewrite, I'm not going to start over and rewrite the whole thing, but I have decided that I am going to rewrite those 3 scenes that I've already written. I know it's probably not like a super great idea, but at the same time, there is some things I came up with, some ways to change the story so that it sounds better, so that it works better, a way to bring back a character that we haven't heard much from. And I think that's actually going to be kind of fun and make that scene more interesting. Not that scene wasn't interesting to begin with, but like I had a hard time with like the logistics of it, like why would it have happened the way it happened. So this kind of fixes that problem, and I get to write another character, which is a character I actually really like, but just wasn't needed in the first book for much. So for me, you know, there wasn't much page time for them. So I'm kind of excited to be able to bring them back. And yeah, the thing is that I need to have these 3 chapters rewritten in order for the ending to make sense, in order to go on from the ending. So I know, I don't know, it might push me back. I might not be able to actually finish this book by the end of November, depending on how this week goes with how much time I have to write. It is Thanksgiving weekend, or like week, you know, coming up. And so I will have the kids home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I do have the pottery lunch on Friday. I have a book signing on Saturday. So I'm just really hoping I get a ton of words in like Monday, Tuesday, you know, get that done. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And yeah, we're gonna see how many we can get done today. My goal is to try to get all 3 scenes rewritten today, which would be over the 2,000 mark. So we're looking at probably close to like 3,000 words today. This next like weekend is gonna be crazy, and I just, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm not sure how much of those days I'm going to have to do anything. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and I'm gonna stop chatting at you. My goodness, I cannot speak today. I'm going to stop chatting at you and actually get some work done. Yes, it's the 23rd day of doing the writing challenge, and I actually got a ton of words done yesterday, which was awesome. So I ended up getting over 2,000 words in my main draft, but then I also kind of felt like writing the, you know, first book of the second series as well. So I got like another 1,000 in that story as well. So it was a pretty big day for me as far as writing goes. And I'm gonna try to get in some writing right now so that I have the time, because later on I'm actually going to be doing a ton of glazing. So because I did the working out, you know, how long it takes my kiln to fire, needing time to test, weigh, measure, do listings, all those things for the mugs that I'm going to be launching. On November 28th. And in order for all of that to happen and me have enough time to do all of it, I actually have to glaze tonight and then fire them tomorrow. Anyways, sorry, children interruptions. This is kind of why I don't really do too much during the weekends for recording. But anyways, so in order to have my collection launch on the 28th of November, I will actually need to glaze my pottery tonight and fire it tomorrow, because it usually takes a day to fire, it takes a day to cool down, and then, you know, that takes quite a bit of the week up if I'm not firing it till like Monday or Tuesday, right? And then, you know, and then I still need to take pictures, which I have to do during the day, to get like the natural light and stuff. Pottery's hard to get pictures of, and I found that natural light really works the best, but you know, it is a struggle to get natural light, especially this time of year here, because it just gets so dark so fast and it's so cold. So anyways, those are kind of the plans. That's what I got for as far as pottery goes. I'm just waiting for my kiln to cool down in order to be able to pull those pieces out and glaze them. So what we're going to do in the meantime is do some writing. Hi everybody, so it's Monday. Is it the 24th, maybe? 24th, 25th, I can't remember. 24th, alright, it's the 24th. So it's the 24th day of the rough draft / write 50,000 words in a month challenge. However, we're starting off today in my studio. So I also, because I have no chill, have decided to not only try to write 50,000 words this month, but also have a collection launch by the end of the month. So I stayed up way too late last night glazing to get all these mugs done so that I could fire them today, because I started doing the math, and if this kiln takes a whole day to fire and a whole day to cool down. So if I want these pieces to get done in enough time to be able to take pictures, do listings, to test them, to put them all on the website and stuff, I have to get them fired today. So we pulled an all, well, not an all-nighter, but it was late, especially for me. And just did a bunch of glazing, and so we're just gonna load up this kiln, and it's gonna fire, and then today is probably gonna look like a lot of writing, because I won't really have anything pottery related to do for about the next 2 days. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of writing. See if I can't get closer to finishing that book / write 50,000 words in the month. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get this kiln loaded, because the sooner we get it loaded and going, the sooner it'll fire and the sooner it'll cool down. So here we go. Alright, so I know it's a little loud in here. I'm gonna try to talk a little louder just so you can hear me, but the kiln is going. I've got actually a preheat on it just because it's so cold and wet here. I just want to make sure I do that extra bit of safety to make sure that the mugs are completely dry before starting the glaze fire. So it's gonna take, pretty much an entire day, almost 24 hours to fire the kiln. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it and see how it does, and as you can hear, it's clicking and doing its thing, so we're gonna leave it and let it do a glaze fire. Now that we have the kiln going, it's firing, hopefully it turns out right, because I don't really have time to fix anything if it doesn't go right. But you know, that's kind of what it is to be a potter. A lot of us are kind of like finish it last minute people. But anyways, so since the kiln is firing and there's not really anything else I can do but keep an eye on it, like pottery wise, I'm actually going to be spending most of the rest of the day writing. I will admit I'm struggling a little bit to kind of stay focused and to stay on task today, which I notice happens when I'm tired, and because I was up so late last night, like glazing and trying to get all that done, today to like stay focused and get the things done is definitely more of a struggle. And the fatigue also is hitting me pretty bad. I'm probably having to intake way too much caffeine to function. But you know, we're doing what we can, right? Anyways, so today is probably going to require like the music, the candles, the tea. I'm gonna have to go all out to get myself to feel like and to stay on task with writing. But on the plus side, even though today is probably going to be a little bit of a struggle to get the words in, I did like update and everything, and I've written so much this weekend that I only have like 10,000 words left before I hit the 50,000. Now, the tricky bit with this is that my goal was also to finish book 2, and I'm not sure that book 2 is going to be done in 10,000 words. I mean, I might be able to get it to fit in 10,000 words. I don't know, we'll see. It's just, it tends to, like, you know, I only have a couple of chapters left in the book, but I tend to have my like fight scenes, my like epic battle, things like that. Those are all usually pretty heavy in word counts. So like I might only have a couple more perspective chapters that I need to write from, but those chapters could be, you know, several thousand words. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Also, there's kind of the wrap up. Like, I always forget about the wrap up. I'm like, get to all the hard hitting fighty stuff, and then, you know, and then I'm like, oh right, they have to have like a actual ending. I don't know. Can you tell? I usually leave cliffhangers on things, but this one can't. This one cannot be a cliffhanger. Like there is a spin-off, but like I do want everything to be at like more of a conclusion. There isn't going to be any books after this, like in this series. So, you know, besides the spin-off that I have planned, but like it's after all this stuff has happened, and from completely different character perspectives. So, well, not completely different. They are characters that are in the book, but like. Anyways, can you tell? Can you tell my brain is just not wanting to brain today? But yeah, I'm just not sure if I can get it done in 10,000 words. This is kind of the point I'm trying to make. So, I probably spent way too long explaining why I think it'll take longer than 10,000 words. But that's where we're at. I need to write. I should stop blabbing at you and get some work done. So, yeah. Hi everybody. So this is an update for the 24th. And I got my 2,000 words. I did kind of just have music going and, you know, had the candle lit and kind of just tried to get back into the story. And the funny thing is too, is I ended up just randomly coming up with an extra scene that I wasn't expecting, but I think it's kind of funny, and I think it'll end up like adding a little bit of reprieve in the book because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of like heavy hitting hard things that are going to be happening in the end of the book. And so I think adding this particular scene will, one, kind of give us a perspective of what's going on at the camp, you know, during everything happening. And two, it's kind of like a humorous scene. It's something I just kind of came up with. And I don't know, I think it'll be kind of like a nice breather for readers and stuff like that. So yeah, so I am kind of excited about that. I will definitely hit the 50,000. Like, I don't have a doubt about that. I'm pretty sure I can hit the 50,000. With what I wrote today, I'm at 41,000 something. And so it's, you know, I think I have less than 9,000 words left. It's just whether or not I can actually finish the book by the end of November, which was kind of also part of my goal. I think part of the difficulty I ran into with trying to actually finish the entirety of the book is, one, I mean, I kind of knew that it was going to be more than 50,000 words, even though I had about 10,000 words written before we even started. But also, I have been distracted, I admit. I kind of mentioned this in some of my other videos for other weeks. I did actually start writing other books on top of this one. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, it is keeping me from finishing book 2, but it's also helped keep me going as well. Because I'm just getting so excited about writing that book that it's kind of pushing me through the hard parts of book 2. So, you know, I have talked about it, especially last week. I was having a really hard time getting through some of the, you know, the plot points and stuff in book 2 of the Hollowed Chronicles. And, you know, I just wasn't sure about things. They didn't feel quite right. I didn't think I don't know, I was kind of feeling a little bit more defeated last week, and so having the new book, the New Shinies, has kind of helped convince me to work through all of that, right? Like, I keep telling myself, if you get this done, then you can write this, you know? Like, it's almost, I'm using it as a motivation to work through all the hard things to push through to get that word count, even though I don't want to, because of kind of the difficulty I'm having with it. So, you know, so I think all in all it's a good thing, but I do think that's like leading to me not quite having the book finished by the end of November. I mean, maybe I'll have a couple of really good writing days, and kind of push through it and get the entire book done. If I don't get the whole book done, I do know I'm going to be really close to the end by the end of November. But the reason why I'm not writing more today is, one, because I did have like an appointment thing that's happening and stuff, and I have to leave a little earlier than I would normally. Usually have like another hour or two to write, but it's not happening today. And then two, with me staying up so late glazing, my wrists are very angry at me, and so they're basically telling me that I need to be done typing. I pushed through and got the 2,000 words done, but they're not happy, and so we're going to take a break. And I don't want to injure myself because of it, so that's probably what it's gonna be for today. I might do some plotting or planning, you know, or if my wrists feel a little better later, I might try to like write some in, you know, the extra book, the Ooh Shiny book, right? But otherwise, I'm kind of done for today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Everybody, today is Tuesday. It's the 25th day of me trying to get 50,000 words / finish book 2 by the end of November. So like I said yesterday, I did get about 2,000 words done. I want to try to aim for more than that today. My wrist really was bothering me, like, even after I had quit writing and kind of took a break from it and wasn't really using it much, it still was hurting me quite a bit. So I decided to just forego doing any more writing yesterday. I didn't even work in the other story because I just didn't want to make it so that I, you know, couldn't even write today or whatever. So my wrist is feeling better today, and I want to see if I can try to actually get more words today than the 2,000. 2,000 is the aim today, but if I can do more than that, it would be really awesome, just because I'm not really worried about hitting the 50,000 words for November. I only have like 8,000 words left. I know I'll make it by the end of the week, basically, but I don't know that I'm going to finish the book. So I guess that's kind of why I'm trying to see if I can write more than 2,000 words today. I also really want to write a particular scene in the other book that I'm writing. I started off the scenes in the chapters a certain way, but I'm just not sure that I like them that way. So I was going to try, you know, like I do, rewriting the scene, so from a different way, a different perspective, to see if I liked it better, to see starting it in a different spot, a different place in the story. Yeah, because I mean, I admit, like, having already written this particular story before, my brain just automatically wants to do what I remember. But now that I've had like 3 years of space from that story, it has me like rethinking how I started the book and how I had things happen, and I'm kind of leaning towards things needing to change, but I don't think I'll really know for sure until I actually write that scene and see if I can make it work a different way than what I originally had. So I would actually like to do some of that too if I can manage it. I don't know, we'll see. Hello again. So I'm just updating you. I got a lot written. I ended up doing 3,059 words today, and I got all the way through most of the scenes. Now all that's left are like the big scenes for the end. I do need to think about it. I'm not sure where I want to go from here. I kind of have it where my main character has kind of come up with a plan, but Annie has not come up with the plan. And so I do need to spend some time trying to come up with how all this stuff is going to play out and what the plan is. I'm way ahead of where I need to be because I wrote like 3,000 words. So actually, if I only write another 1,000 words for the rest of November, I'll hit the 50,000. So definitely going to hit the 50,000. The tricky bit is going to be whether or not I hit the end of this book. Hi everybody. So I just got the kiln cooled down enough that I can open it. This kiln unloading is a little bit of a mixed bag. I have already kind of looked at everything and stuff, so you won't get any like surprise reactions from me just because I had to make like a reel really fast and stuff because this collection is supposed to go live Friday, so I'm trying really hard to like promote it and stuff. But anyways, so we have a little bit of crawling with this purple glaze. Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, it crawled a lot on these 3 pieces that I used it in. So that's a bummer, but you know, that's what I get for not having enough liner glaze to go on the inside of these mugs. But pottery sometimes is just mysterious. No matter how hard you try, you can come up with all these, you know, you've got a lot of theories or you can test and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you can't really see what's going on in the kiln when it's going on in the kiln. So this one, no, yeah, that one's crawling. Yeah, these all crawled on the inside, so I probably will try to refire them, maybe, but yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I did actually have some of the purple ones turn out just fine. Like I said, because they, you know, I had enough liner glaze for most of the pieces. I just ran out and like only had like 3 pieces left, and then was like, let's just try something, you know. But yeah, anyway, so I did end up having, come here, there we go. Okay, so I did end up having some of these purple ones turn out. So yeah, that one's super pretty. But you can see this purple celadon has a lot of movement on it for some reason. So that's probably what happened, at least in part, why I got the crawling. And I don't normally get crawling, so there. Yeah, this one turned out really pretty. I like that one. I think this one's my favorite. Of course, I really like purple, so yeah, all the rest of it's fine. The liner glaze is fine, of course, because, you know, it's my tested glaze I use over and over again. It's one I really, really like to use as a liner. It's just, it's kind of hard to put on the piece, but it's super stable when it's fired. And I just don't ever have any, well, I shouldn't say I don't have any problems with it, but I don't have problems with it very often. So, yeah. Yeah, those are those pieces. So it says, bye, my books are calling. It's kind of hard to see with the light and stuff, but, and then there's like little books and stuff, like there's a little book there and stuff. I probably was a little heavy-handed on the blue. I should have gone lighter on it, a little lighter, but you can still see them. That one turned out really pretty. I like that one. That's a pretty mug right there. And then we've got some pink. And this is not a color I normally do. You can see this one kind of had a lot of movement on it too. Something to note with some of those celadons. Which is really weird because the blue is like super, super stable. So it's weird to me that the pink and the purple are like, you know, it kind of probably just has to do with the colorants they use. This one turned out really cool too though. This one's also a pink. And I feel like it turned out really, really pretty. I really like that one. So cute. Also, like the underglaze transfers turned out really well on that one too. And then This one I definitely see. When I say it was heavy-handed on the, I probably didn't need to put as much blue on there. It's hard to know because like the purples and the pinks and the green need a lot of layers, more than you would think, right? But then I, you know, kind of just got into the habit of putting so much on that like I didn't think about the fact that the blue doesn't need as much as the other colors do, so that's okay. It's just more subtle. You can still see it. It's kind of just, it's hard to pick up on camera, but they are still there. They're just a little bit more subtle. And then we've got some green, which also isn't picking up super great on the camera, but it is green. It's like a kind of a sea foamy green. It's pretty. And we've got this one. Maybe it'll show up on the mug a little better. Got the seafoam green going on here. Transfers look really good on that one too. Yeah. That's a nice mug. Has a nice wide handle too. Love it. Alrighty. This is when I tell myself I don't need to keep my own pieces, right? And then got one more. Got a little bump cup that is also green. Oh, it's cute. That's cute. Little books right there. Love it. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have for my kiln. That was kind of a smaller load. But most of the pieces turned out just fine. It's just those three. I should have known better. I was tired, worn out, didn't want to have to bother like getting more of that glaze for the liners and stuff. But next time we're just gonna leave it alone. Next time we'll just wait, right? Because sometimes you have to think about the fact is like you might be tired, you might want to get it done. It might not be able to be fired with everything else when you want it to, but at the same time you did spend a lot of time and effort and stuff making those pieces, and you know, so it's like sometimes you kind of have to put, I kind of have to put it in perspective where it might be too inconvenient right now to have to wait, to not be able to fire it with everything else and stuff, but if I can't get those pieces to turn out right, I've lost all of the work I've put into those three pieces, right? So yeah. Also, it's good evidence as to why I need a break and why I'm taking December off. So that's what we got today. We got a bunch of bugs, and so today's gonna be doing. I'm gonna be doing a lot of testing, measuring, weighing, things like that. And I might be able to get a couple of, you know, maybe 1,000 words in or something like that. I am ahead on my word count by like 2 days, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see if I can get any writing done, but the main focus is going to be the pottery again, because I have to get these pieces done and listed and everything by Friday, so yeah, we got some work to do. Hi everybody. So today is actually the 28th. It's Friday. I didn't get any anything recorded yesterday. I'm not gonna get into it, but it was more of a stressful day. And for those of you who aren't US, it was Thanksgiving too. But it wasn't I don't know, there's, you know, like I said, like in a couple of other videos, there's a lot of personal things going on, and because of that, it's made this month a little bit more difficult. But yeah, it just, I wasn't feeling good. It wasn't a good day. Like, I just, you know, sometimes you just have that, or you run into a day where you just don't feel like turning on the camera, and, you know, just don't feel like putting yourself out there for the world to see how well you're not doing, you know. Not to say you can't record that or show that or whatever, but I was just not in a headspace yesterday to be able to record. So I didn't. So today, I already did get about 1,000 words written. I finished off one of the chapters. I had written like a whole chapter and then like half a chapter, not yesterday but the day before, the 26th, Wednesday. And so what I did was I just finished off that particular chapter. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm just gonna probably sit down, write for a good couple of hours, and see if I can write the 50,000 words, see if I hit that 50,000 word mark by the end of the day. But I don't know that the book is actually going to get finished. It is close. It's not like I totally missed the mark on finishing my book. Like, there really is only maybe 2 or 3 chapters left, maybe. I just think that they're going to be longer chapters, and that they're definitely going to be more than 3,000 words. So yeah, anyways, let's get to writing. I got my tea. I'm gonna kind of just push through. Like I said, I already got 1,000, so I only need to write 2,000 today. That's all. I just gotta do 2,000 more words and I'll be done, and I'll win Nano, and I will have met one of the goals, if not all of them. So hello everybody. So as you saw, I did the book signing, which went really, really well. I actually almost sold out of books. I only had like 2 left for me to take home, so I'm gonna have to change that on my website, that I don't have too many more copies. I did go ahead and order a bunch more, so that was awesome. I tentatively am going to try to do another book signing in December. It just kind of depends on whether or not I can get the books that I just ordered in time. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. I didn't really get a ton of words done. Obviously, it was a long day, because I was there from, well, I got there a little early because I knew I needed to set up and stuff. So my shift didn't start till 11, but I was there at 10 to kind of help set up and make sure that we knew where we wanted the tables and stuff. There were more artists doing the artist spotlight than was usual because it was Small Business Saturday, so they invited a whole bunch of extra artists to the thing. So we were all kind of trying to figure out where we wanted to be, what spots in the store we wanted to have. So yeah, that went really well. I feel like we did awesome. I sold really well. I met another fantasy author and we were just having so much fun, kind of sharing a table together. Like, well, we were separate to begin with. Like the videos you saw, we were separate. But then once a bunch of the other artists came in, we kind of had to combine, and so we were just like the book signing table. And so it was fun. It was fun just listening to each other like practice our pitch with people, and I have never had that much fun doing like I have a lot of fun doing the Ren Fair, but as far as like doing like a event from here or like, you know, book signings and stuff, that was so much fun, so much more fun than I thought I was going to have. You know, because you're there trying to sell books and stuff, but like you don't really expect to have a good time, I guess. So that was fun. I'll make sure to tag the other author that I did the book signing with here too. And then after that, after we did our book signing, which was about until 4, I had a book signing that I was going to, like, from another author. So the author who wrote Legends and Lattes, Travis Baldry, was doing a signing at a local bookshop, and he's actually local to our area, and so that was kind of cool. So I got to meet him, got my book signed, you know, got my Legends and Lattes special edition signed. And I don't know, it was just a really cool day. It was just really fun. I don't know, I can't explain it. I just really enjoyed yesterday. And so after that, I wasn't really pushing myself to write. I think I ended up getting like 100 words or something like that. Like, just so that I had something, just so I knew where I was going, you know, to write to today and stuff like that, to kind of give me ideas for where I wanted the story to go. But besides that, I didn't really write much. But I did end up, I don't think I recorded later Friday, but I did end up beating Nano. Like, I did end up getting the 50,000 words. So when I went to do the book signing, I wasn't super stressed about getting words and stuff because I'd already hit the 50,000. So yeah, I did manage to write 50,000 words in November. And I mean, honestly, it was probably more than that because I have also been writing into other stories as well. But like, the goal was to try to write 50,000 words in this book, right? So the other goal that I had was to finish book 2. And that goal I unfortunately did not meet. Some of it was just me, like the holidays kind of got in the way of me having like a ton of time to do like extra words. You know, then I had the Pottery collection launch on Friday as well. And, you know, and then I did the book signing. And so like this weekend was just like super busy and super full of things. So I just kind of ran out of time, didn't have the time to write a lot extra than the 50,000, right? So, I mean, it's not all bad though. Like, I might not have hit that goal, but I did hit the 50,000. So, I mean, that is awesome. I was really excited about that. And I did get some writing done today. So today I ended up getting another 1,081 words, putting my total for November and the 50,000 at, 51,304 was like how I finished November off, was that. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I would have liked to have the book finished, but I am struggling a little bit with how I want, like, I know how I want the end to happen. It's just like getting to the end, right? Like the journey there, I'm kind of struggling with what I have and how to make it work. And I really kind of like to have a lot of action and tense moments and stuff like that right at the end of my books, and I feel like I'm not really getting that. So I do think it's gonna take me like another couple of weeks to figure out exactly how to finish the book, and you know, actually write all those words. I have to say, like, you know, I say like, oh, I have 4 more chapters left. Oh, I have this many chapters left. But then I keep adding chapters. So originally I only had like 3 or 4 chapters left. And then I wrote another chapter. And then I wanted to add another chapter. And then I wanted to add another. So like, as it stands now, I only have about 3 chapters to finish. But I do just keep inserting chapters. So I can't say for sure that it's only going to be 3 more chapters to finish the book. And I will say, like, it kind of sounds like I almost made it. Like, I should have just tried harder to get there. But, like, to be honest, I want the end to be good, right? Because it's going to be a duology. This is going to be the end of this story. And so I'm okay not pushing to finish and have the end just be subpar or not really know what to do with it. Like, I am okay with just hitting the 50,000 this month and taking a little bit more time to figure out exactly how I want the end to go. And then, so that's what I got. That was my total word count for November. So 62,298 words is what I ended up getting for the whole manuscript in total, also including the words that I had gotten before I did Nano. And I'm thinking before the end of it, we're probably going to be at 70,000, which is a lot for me. I am definitely like an underwriter. Eyes of Pewter, the first book, is only about 60,000 words, and I finish writing it with it being under 50. So I definitely will be adding, I definitely will be editing, like I definitely will probably add more scenes, you know, describe the scenes better. Like the book isn't going to be finished when I'm finished, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do tend to be an underwriter. So the fact that I'm already at 70,000, I mean, I think that's pretty cool, which makes me all the more excited for finishing the series, you know, writing the spin-off, and starting my new series. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This is going a little longer than I intended. I'm probably gonna have to do a lot of editing to like shorten it, because I'm just blabbing a lot. But yeah, that's kind of how it went. This is the end. This is November. This is where I'm at with my word counts, and December is going to be me ghosting the internet. I am going to be taking a break on YouTube, on social media, on my Patreon. I paused my tiers too. Like, I am taking a break. Now, I'm not saying I'm not working at all, because I do have like some shifts at the store I'm in from here. I do have some shifts I need to do for them. I do still have, like, I did get a couple orders, so I have orders to ship out. I probably will still get a couple orders too. So, you know, so I'm still doing some work. It's not like I'm just completely taking the whole of December off, but like I am taking a break from social media. I know that has been the most draining for me this year, and I do just kind of need a really long break from it. Plus, I usually close my website about probably like 2 weeks into December. Just because I don't want to have to worry about whether or not they're going to get there in time for like Christmas presents and stuff like that. So, you know, my international orders, you have to get in before December 1st. And then my local orders, I usually just close my website down after like the second week of December, just to make sure that you know, people aren't buying anything and then can't actually like get it in time. So probably actually that Wednesday. So the 10th of December, I think it is when I'm going to be closing my website. And then, you know, after that, I'll probably be taking a pretty decent break from, you know, the business, and just enjoying the time with my family, and just kind of taking a break that I desperately need, that I probably should have taken earlier this year, but I didn't. So yeah, that's where we're at. I will see you all in January, so don't worry about that. I do plan on coming back. I do, you know, I'm gonna be coming back to Patreon and to social media and to YouTube and stuff like that. I just need a little bit of a break because of how crazy and hard I've pushed myself this year with releasing my debut novel, with, you know, doing all the pottery stuff, all the shows. Like, it has been a crazy year, and sometimes you gotta give yourself that break. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing, and I will see you in 2026. Bye.